All right, so today's lesson is going to be on changing double number lines into tables. Okay, changing double number lines into tables. So basically, if you go back here, I will be able to represent equivalent ratios using tables. I can see a table representing a set of equivalent ratios. I can come up with numbers to make a new row. That means I have a table and a blank row at the bottom. I can use my context clues from the numbers before or see the patterns so I can create a whole nother row at the bottom of the table. And I will know that I've learned it when I can find the missing values in a table of ratios, which means I'm going to give you a table eventually, and you're going to have some numbers inside of there, and there's going to be a pattern, and you're just going to figure out what the missing number is, just like fitting pieces into a puzzle. All right, so let's do just a little bit of warm up here. How's it growing? You can use this. You can use the patterns. You can see how the pattern is going. Okay, here the ratio is 3 to 4. Here is the ratio 6 to 8. And this ratio is 9 to 12. Okay? Now, if you look at the pattern, you can see that from here to here is times 2. I used a dot. Don't forget, we're using the dots now. From here to here is times 3. Okay, remember that. Remember what I'm doing. Remember that I'm multiplying by 2 to get this next ratio, and it is an equivalent ratio. Okay, that's why we're multiplying both of them by that number so we can have equivalent ratios. So basically what you need to do now is go to the fourth figure. So if the second figure is times 2 and the third figure here is times 3, well, guess what the fourth and the fifth and the 10th figure would be? Okay, so go ahead and stop the video, figure out the next ones, and then we're going to move on. All right, so let's go straight into this double number line so we can change it into a table. So Noah's recipe for 1 batch of sparkling orange juice uses 4 liters of orange juice and 5 liters of soda water. Okay, so we're not looking for the per right now. We're only looking for batches. Okay, so go ahead. I would suggest that you write batches here. Okay, because the batches are going to go right here in the middle. So go ahead and start with the 0 here and the 0 there. All right. So the first batch, of course, it says the first batch is 4 liters and 5 liters, 4 liters of orange juice and 5 liters of soda water. Okay. That makes 1 batch. Okay. And so now that we know our ratio, now that we know the pattern, you can see the pattern here because this is going to be going by 4s. This is going to be going by 5s. And each batch, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, okay, 8, 9, 10 batches. Okay, you can go further if you need. They may ask for more batches later on. But right now, let's look at this. It says, if someone mixes 36 liters of orange juice and 45 liters of soda water, if someone mixes 36 liters of orange juice and 45 liters of soda water, how many batches would that make? So we're looking for this. We're looking for one of these numbers here. Okay, so if we're skip counting by 4 here, that means I need to go to 36. Well, what times 4 is 36? 4. 4 times 4. I'm sorry, 4 times 9. 4 times 9 is 36. So 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28, 32, 36. Okay, so we got 36 liters of orange juice and 45 liters of soda water. 45. So I'm gonna assume that since this is 4 times 9, that this is going to be 5 times 9 also. Okay, well, let's prove it. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. Well, what do you know? It is 45. Okay, So let's move on. If someone uses 400 liters of orange juice, how much soda water will that need? That means that we need to go all the way out this way, and we're going to be here at 400. Okay, so now we need to figure out how much this is from 4 to 400. And remember, we're going to be multiplying by a number. We're going to be multiplying a number to get from 4 to 400. And the thing is, you got to do the same thing down here for this part of the double number line. Whatever number goes on top goes on the bottom. If we multiply this by 3, got to multiply the bottom by 3. We've got to multiply this one by 9, got to multiply that one by 9. And that is the batches. That's how many batches. So go ahead and fill that out. Next, here, they're asking you to come down on this side. They're giving you 455 liters of soda water, and you're going to have to go up here this time. Okay, that means we're going to have to figure out how much, what times 5 is going to give me 455. So, and that number is also going to have to be what times 4 will give me this mystery number right here. Okay, that's how you figure it out. Now, how do we figure out what times what equals the number? We just divide. Use your calculator and you can find that out. All right. Pause if you need to pause. Next. So now that we have our table, I want you to look at this. I want you to look at this. Uh-oh. I want you to look at this double number line. Look at the double number line you made. We made this double number line, and they turned it into a table. Look at that. This is basically the lesson. Learning how to connect these double number lines to tables. The same thing I see here is the same thing you see here. It's just a little bit more organized, okay? Now, if you look here, look at this. 5 times 100 will give me 500. So that means that 4 has to also be multiplied by the same number to get this number at the bottom. That's how they are switching. That's how we're changing the double number lines into tables. So if you know how to make a double number line, you automatically can know how to make a table. It's just put it in table form. Okay. All right. So now that we've dealt with that, we've got some trail mix. Now remember, when we're multiplying, when we're going from when we're trying to figure out anything of these empty cells, okay, we got to use either multiplication or division to skip count. Okay, got to remember, got to use either a multiplication or division to get from one number to another. All right, so let's do an easy one. Okay, so 28. Let's look at this 28 right here. How do we get from 7 to 28? Times 4. That means that the 5 here also has to be times 4. What is 5 times 4? 20. That's how you do it. Okay? So in this case, sometimes you got to move from one number to another. You can go from here to get this number here. Well, I'm not going to do it for you, but you're going to have to figure it out on your own. We know that these numbers can be skip counted. These are all in the 5 family. 5 can go into all of these numbers on this side because there are equivalent ratios. 7 can go into all of these numbers. So you need to know your 7-time tables or have a calculator. So here, let's do the next one. So to go from 5 to 10, that's going to have to be times 2. So this also is going to have to be times something 2 also. So now it is your turn to go ahead and finish the table. Let me give you a little hint with this one here. 3.5, use the calculator to figure out how many 7s fit into a 3.5 or how many 3.5s fit into 7. All right, go ahead and do that. finish the table. Next. You've created a best-selling recipe for chocolate chip cookies. And the recipe calls for 2:5 ratio of sugar to flour. So sugar and flour. And you're going to have to do this one on your own, but there's some rules you need to follow here. Okay? They've given you, they went ahead and gave you the ratio. They have to give you at least 2 numbers, one on each side. They have to do that. So this is 2 and this is 5. Okay? But here are the stipulations. You can create a double number line. You can create another table just by using the multiplication skills to fill in these blanks. Here's an example. You can multiply both of them by 2. 2 times 2 is 4. 2 times 5 is 10. This is a nice little example. That means 4 and 10 will work. They are equivalent to 2 and 5. They will give you the same taste of your chocolate chip cookies. All right? But now they're giving you some stipulations. It says 4. It means that you should have fewer than 25 cups of flour. Okay? So anything over here on this side needs to be 25 or less. All right. Now the entry, one entry should have 20 to 30 cups of sugar. So on this side, you need to have 20 or 30 cups of sugar. Okay. Between 20 and 30. So that's how you fill this out. And of course, one entry has to be more than 500 units of flour. Okay. So somewhere in here, also somewhere in here has to be 500 or more. Okay. I'll leave it up to you. You can use your partners, you can use your shoulder partners, your table partners to answer all the questions. All right.